Hello everyone, welcome to How to Code. Today's problem, sorting. In sorting we have various algorithms, but today just focus on the logic part. Okay, instead of having a specific algorithm, let's focus on the logic. So in input we have 5 numbers, and in output all the 5 numbers are arranged in ascending order. So let's find the logic part. Okay, so one straightforward approach we can apply, that is, we can compare successive elements, and if they are not in their proper order we can exchange them. Fine, so that can be a straightforward approach. So for this input sequence, what we can do, just compare successive element, that means 7 and 6 first. Okay, and after that swap them if they are not in their proper location. So right now it is 6, 7. Okay, and after that again we have to compare the successive elements. Again, obviously they are not in proper order, so we have to swap this one. Again, compare with the next element 7 and 10, and they are in proper order, so no swap operation. So it's say 7, 10. Now next number 2, obviously swap 6, 3, 7, 2, 10. So after these comparisons we can have 10 at its proper location. Okay, so one number available at its proper location, and we have to place other numbers at its proper location, that means ascending order. Now 10 is the largest number in this input sequence and it is available at the last location, that means right. Okay, so if I consider here n numbers of input available, so here n will be the input. Fine, now we have to perform the comparison for these n numbers. Okay, and yes, it is I think n minus 1 times, right? Now, so after n minus 1 number of comparisons, one number is available in sorted sequence. But what about the rest? How many numbers left? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can say n minus 1, it will be 4. Fine. So if we can rotate this entire process for another n minus 1 times, automatically we can arrange all the numbers in ascending order. Fine. So say it is R1. Okay, this entire process is R1. So if we can rotate R1 another n minus 1 number of times, automatically all the numbers will be sorted. Fine. You can do the rest of the calculations, okay, using a copy. Fine. Now, so by analyzing this logic, we can say sorting is nothing but comparison and exchange, or swap, you can say. So these two operations are fundamental to any comparison based sorting algorithms, nothing else. We have to take care of these two. First we have to compare, and then the criteria satisfied, no exchange. If they are not in proper order, we have to swap or exchange. That's it. Okay, now we will apply this logic in our programming environment. Fine. So first we have to compare successive elements. Okay, n minus 1 times for one element. Obviously for rest of the elements we have to rotate the same thing for another n minus 1 times. Fine. And the two key operations are available for sorting. One is comparison, another one is swap or exchange. Now let's go to the programming environment. So here we have to use some variables. Now how to store all the inputs? We can use array. Actually in array we can store variables of same type. Okay, so here all are of integer type, 7, 6, 3, 10, 2. So here we can easily use one array, say int a. Okay, and maximum capacity of int a is 100 say. And in this array, integer array, we can store all the input numbers. So that is the advantage actually. If thousands number are 1000 is the capacity, then we can store 1000 integer variables. Fine. So here say it is a. So in index 0, 7 will be there, and 1, 6, and this will continue, and array index 4, 2 is available. Okay, fine. Now how we can compare? So automatically we can compare like array 0, 1. So for the first operation 7 and 6, we can easily perform the operation using this syntax a0 greater than a1. Okay, similar way we can proceed with the other operation also, and instead of having 0 and 1, we can put any variable there so that it will continue with the numbers. Now the entire process will run multiple times, so that's why we have to use one for loop, so that for loop will take care of the entire numbers. Fine. So another here input n, so say n equals to 5. We will consider only 5 numbers. Fine. And in array you can store the number using a for loop, say for loop, and int I will be there for loop I less than equal to n, or not less than equal to l, because it will start from 0, so less than n, and fine. Next I plus plus. Okay, and in this you can use scanf to take the array input. Fine. So this one for array input. Next what we have to do? We have to apply the logic, comparison and swap. Okay, how many times we have to do? That is the critical thing. And for that we have to do we have to use one for loop. Okay, so let's use one for loop for this entire operation, and I think yes. So one variable we require for loop, that is say g for the n for the comparisons. Okay, so for comparison swap operation we will use one for loop. So starting from 0, and next j less than say n minus I minus 1. Why I minus 1? Later I will explain during the program execution. Okay. Now what is I? That is also an interesting point, because right now no I is available here. So just do the comparison. If ai greater than ai plus 1. Okay, what we have to do? We have to swap. Now for swap you can visit my first video. Okay, you can explore the first video. Right now I will not discuss the concept regarding swap. Okay, so swap ai with ai plus 1. Fine. Else nothing, we don't have to do anything, and this for loop will rotate this number times. Okay, n minus I minus 1. Okay, the next, now this entire process we have to consider for another n minus 1. Okay, so let's go to the second for loop. So another variable I to 0, I less than n minus 1 I plus plus. Okay, now another curly brace, and after this just use the printf. Okay, to print the array. Just print array. So for printing the content of array, again you have to use the for loop. Okay, print array. Now, so this is the logic actually. Now you have to manage this condition depending on the first for loop actually, the outer for loop. Okay, now the comparison will be less than the outer for loop 1. So that's why we have used this one, I minus 1. Fine. So let's go to the programming environment. Then I think it will be clear to everyone. Okay. And before that, just a quick relook on the array concept and the input variable concept. So we can easily apply the comparison and swap. Just we have to compare two variables. Okay. Here we are using array. So this is the syntax. Easily you can apply, and the entire thing if rotate multiple times, then we have to use the for loop. So that is the thing. Multiple tools are available in C, and we have to pick the right one for our problem purpose. Okay. So quickly, we'll go to the programming environment. Fine. So this is the code actually. Right now, simple. One array is there. N is the number of input numbers available. I, J for loop, and temporary variable for swap operation. Fine. So first number of elements, and that will be available in N. Next the integers. Okay. And in for loop we can store using the scanf and this way. Next, the outer for loop, I equals to 0, I less than n minus 1, because we have to rotate the outer for loop n minus 1 times, no problem. And the inside for loop, obviously 1 less than the previous one, that's why minus 1. Next, what we have to do, we have to compare both the successive elements. Fine. And if the first element is greater than the second element, we have to perform the swap. So that is the logic using a third variable. Okay. And yes, that's it. So very simple code actually. Okay. And you people can apply the logic here. So this is the end of today's logic, and if you compare with the sorting algorithms, you can find that this is the bubble sort. So you don't have to start with bubble sort. Instead of that, try to apply your own logic, then compare which sorting algorithm it is. Okay. So thank you everyone for your query and doubts. You can post in the comment section of the video. Thank you everyone. So one point, yes, at last, one point I can discuss that applying logic is not so difficult. Okay, so here just the same concept we are applying in our programming environment. Okay, so outer loop will rotate n minus 1 times, inside loop again just 1 less than that. So we have to just manage that thing. Okay, and things are very simple, compare and swap. So sorting is nothing but comparison and swap or exchange, whatever you can say. Okay, so don't try to go with the names actually. Don't start with a name that okay, today I have to implement insertion sort, today I have to implement merge sort or quick sort. Instead of that, try to find out your own logic and try to implement that. After that, compare. Okay, that okay, this logic belongs to that. So right now, this logic belongs to bubble sort. Okay, because after each and every iteration, the largest number will be bubble out at its proper location. That's it. So, happy coding to all.